Very good evening, everyone. I hope you guys are preparing well. My name is Shubham Singhania, and I'm your mentor for UPSC Commerce as well as Management. Today, I'm going to talk about a very important topic which often confuses a lot of students. So, I have been evaluating the copies of UPSC aspirants for the last 3 years now. And one specific question that I've always encountered, which the students have always asked me, sir, should we go ahead towards the breadth of the answer or should we get into the depth of an answer? Remember, I am not talking about the conceptual clarity. जब हम conceptual clarity के बारे में बात करते हैं, of course you have to get into the depth of the concept. आपको कंसेप्ट के डेप्थ में जाना पड़ेगा, उसको डेप्थ में समझना पड़ेगा, उसके सारे एलिमेंट्स को कवर करना पड़ेगा. यू कैन नॉट go ahead and sit in the UPSC mains without having in-depth conceptual clarity. But when it comes to writing the answers, any kind of an answer, whether you're writing your GS answer, whether you're writing your management answer, whether you're writing your commerce answers, there has to be more specific dimensions that you're catering to. And that is exactly what I'm going to show you today with the help of a topper's answer sheet. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to explain it to you. What do I mean by breadth? What do I mean by depth of an answer? Then I'm going to give you one specific example. And then I'm going to show you one topper's answer sheet, which is the answer of Ms. Surbhi Pathak. She qualified the UPSC exam in the last year. You already know that. She became an IPS officer. Okay. I'm going to give you an example from her copy to show you how can you write a wonderful answer by covering multiple breadths in an answer. So let's get started. Now, the first thing that I'm going to focus upon is very specifically to understand so that you do not get confused, because कई बार होता है students confused हो जाते हैं breadth और depth के बीच में. So what I mean when I say about depth, I basically mean that what students do is, उन्हें कोई question मिला, they have gotten a question, what will they do? They will pick up one dimension and they're going to write it substantially. For example, आपको एक question पूछा गया that what is the role of human resource planning in an organization? So what students do, they pick up one aspect, that is, let's say compensation management. ठीक है, और उन्होंने compensation management का dimension pick किया and they're going to write in detail about compensation management, that too in the form of a paragraph. They're not going to touch upon the various other elements which are part of human resource planning. Okay, and when I say writing about the breadth of an answer, what I basically means that you try to discuss as many multiple dimensions as much as possible, of course in brief, because there's going to be a kind of a word limit, and you also provide examples. तो हमेशा ये बेटर अप्रोच होने वाली है कि आप किसी एक डायमेंशन को पकड़ के आंसर लिखने की जगह मल्टीपल डायमेंशंस को कवर करने की कोशिश करें, एंड यू टच अपॉन देम ब्रीफली अलोंग विद एग्जांपल्स. ऑफ कोर्स जहां पे क्वेश्चन ने स्पेसिफिकली आपसे एक डायमेंशन पूछ लिया दैट यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट, लेट्स से द फाइनेंशियल एस्पेक्ट्स, ओके, और लेट्स से इट हैज बीन आस्क्ड दैट टॉक अपॉन द सोशल एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ समथिंग, ओके, उस केस में आपको उसी डायमेंशन के बारे में बात करनी है. बट व्हेन द क्वेश्चन इज गिविंग यू एन ओपन स्पेस, एन ओपन अरीना टू टॉक अबाउट एनी काइंड ऑफ डायमेंशन, you should try and make sure that you are writing as many dimensions as possible. The more dimensions you cover, the more holistic opinion the examiner is going to make about your personality, about your understanding, about your answer. So that is something that I want to emphasize with the help of the breadth and depth element. Okay, I hope this is clear. I hope the basic element of breadth and depth is clear. I'm repeating once again, I'm not specifically stating कि आपको depth में नहीं जाना है when you're reading the concepts. I'm only talking about when you're writing the answer and the question is an open-ended question giving you a lot of space to talk about multiple dimensions. ठीक है? I hope this is clear. Let's have a look at one example to give you a little more clarity. So this is the question that I have formulated. The question says, explain the key aspects of human resource management and its significance in modern organization. Now, the question is not asking you specifically, though you might feel that this particular phenomena or the dimensional aspect, the breadth aspect is going to be more applicable in GS answers, but the same is also applicable in most of your optionals, specifically when I talk about management option. Okay, so this is the question in front of you from the subject of human resource management. Now, this question is giving you an open space, an open arena to talk about the key aspects of human resource management. Now, what students would do, somebody is going to pick up one aspect or one dimension of human resource management and they're going to talk about it in detail. That is going to be a conventional practice that I have been seeing a lot of students do, and this is often considered as a big blunder. Okay, because There's no point talking about just one dimension when it is being specifically asked to talk about the key aspects. Okay, so what can be a structured answer along with covering multiple dimensions or multiple breadth? Here it is in front of you. Okay, the first dimension is strategic human resource management. So one aspect that you can specifically talk about here is that how is human resource management playing a crucial role in streamlining the strategy aspect of human resource management. There you can touch upon three different elements, that is talent acquisition and recruitment, how strategic HRM is playing a crucial role, or how human resource management is playing a crucial role in modern organization with respect to talent acquisition and recruitment. The second aspect that you can cover is performance management, and the third aspect that you can cover is succession planning. Okay, so what I've done, I've picked up one dimension, this is the first dimension, and I've talked about three specific elements in this particular dimension. The second dimension to talk about is employee development. So I've picked up the second dimension, and there also I've talked about multiple elements such as training and skill enhancement, career pathing, and mentoring and coaching. So what I'm doing here essentially, I'm giving a room to the examiner, I'm giving it a very clear message to the examiner that I'm not just aware about one dimension of one role of human resource management, but I am aware about the multiple roles. Of course, you will have to take a call out there. आपको वहां पे थोड़ी सी प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी, थोड़ी सी आंसर राइटिंग की प्रैक्टिस ज्यादा करनी पड़ेगी इनफैक्ट, सो दैट you make sure कि आप word limit भी exceed ना करें and you are able to cover multiple dimensions by talking about various elements. So I've talked about three elements. I'm going to show you the third one also. So this is the third one. The third element could be diversity and inclusion. Now the reason why I've included diversity and inclusion dimension here is because आजकल आप न्यूज में देखते होंगे that a lot of corporate bodies, a lot of reports have been coming up. For example, if you've heard about Deloitte, which is one of the big fours in case of auditing firms, it has clearly mentioned that they are formulating policies to incorporate diversity aspect in their recruitment policy and recruitment mechanism. So this is how you're also giving a message, you're also sending a message across that you are aware about the current happenings or the current affairs which are happening in the economy. Okay, so therefore the third dimension also, it talks about recruitment and representation, people from all background, inclusive policies and practices, and third, cultural competence training, so that you are able to accommodate the cultural diversity as well. This is one such example which I have given you from my personal experience as to how you can incorporate multiple dimensions in an answer when it's an open case. Now let me show you one topper's copy where I'm going to show you the copy of Ms. Surbhi Pathak. Okay, that will give you a much clear idea of how are toppers writing and how are they able to score such good marks. So let me just read out the question. I hope it is visible. I hope the broadly you will be able to see it also. Okay, so let me read out the question for you. I think it's fairly visible to me. Okay, the question is, what are the potential sources and consequences of stress in an organization? So basically the question is on stress management. Second part of the question is, how can we deal with it? Okay, now the moment you see this question, if you want to try, you can take a try. आपके सामने अगर ये question आता तो आप क्या आंसर लिखते? I'm pretty sure what you're going to do is you're going to talk about the stress management first or stress aspect first, and then you're going to go ahead with managing the stress portion. Now see how beautifully Surbhi Pathak has written the answer, and that is why it makes toppers different from a normal aspirant. Okay, so she has first talked about what is stress, defining the stress, then some elements of stress. Then she has also given an example here with respect to stress. So stress का एक example भी इन्होंने दे दिया. So that is basically the first part of the stress. Now if you move forward, there's a beautiful diagram coming it. I'm going to just get aside to help you see the diagram clearly. And I hope you're able to hear me also. Okay. So what you see here, she has classified the elements into three parts. One is the stress, which is she's saying that it acts as a moderating variable. Okay. One part are the stressors, which you can say as stimulants. That okay, these are the stimulants which are causing stress. And finally, the third element is the consequences. What are stress leading to? Okay. So first part she talked about, and also she has in all these elements also she has covered various dynamics. First, she has talked about individual level. How can stressors be an stimulant or a what you can say something that is instigating you to stress? And the source basically potential source is from an individual level. Individual level also you can get a lot of stress, a lot of elements can lead to stress in you. Second part is group level. If you're working in a group, you're working in an organization, you're working in a team, that can also give a lot of stress to you because of you're working with a multiple number of people. Okay. The third is at an organizational level, the kind of structure you have, the kind of policies you have, that is also going to play a crucial role in acting as a stimulant to inculcate a kind of stress in your working or functionality. Okay, so that was the first part. Second, she has defined stress. And third, she has also talked about the consequences of stress, where you can clearly see she has first talked about behavioral aspect. How is stress going to impact your behavior? Second, she has talked about the cognitive part. And third, she has also talked about the psychological aspect. So, my intention of showing you this beautiful answer is just to enlighten you that it is not that toppers are doing something extremely difficult or extremely different. They are just structured in their answer. They're just well prepared in their answers. They understand the psyche of the examiner checking the copy. That they're not looking for people who are just one dimensional, unidimensional, that they can think just in one dimension. They're looking for people who can solve complex problems, solve real life problems by thinking from multiple dimensional, from multiple perspectives. So that is how you should actually be going ahead and writing the answer. I'm also going to show you even the last part. Now what happens, we usually have this excuse कि आंसर बहुत बड़ा लिख रहे थे, टाइम कम पड़ गया, तो हमने बाद में कुछ भी जो मन में आया लिख दिया. But if you see the last part of the answer, the last part, the second part of the question was, what are the ways to deal with stress? Now, even in that sense, she has classified it. Though the question is not asking this, you have to be very clear. The question has never specified that whether you have to talk about individual level stress, whether you have to talk about group level stress, or whether you have to talk about organizational level stress. It is only because she understands that, okay, multiple dimensions have to be talked about. Therefore, while writing her second part of the question also, she has classified dealing with stress at an individual level. How can an individual deal with stress? Then how can an organizational deal with stress along with the help of a diagram? And then there was a third part also, how at a group level you can deal with the stress. Okay, so that was all about today's session. My whole intention of taking this small session of 10-15 minutes, creating a session for this 10-15 minutes, is to help you understand that you need not get into depth while writing the answer with every question. Wherever there's a scope, where they're giving you an open area, an open platform to write about, talk about the multiple dimension, whether it be your GS answers or whether it be your optional answers. That was all for today. I hope this small video must have helped you in some form or the other. If you think that I've helped you something, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to the channel. We have also started with the course for the 2024 batch. If you want to prepare, you can give us a call on 9999 466 You can also visit our website www.anujindal.in. You can also email us on info@anujindal.in. Okay, so that was all about today's session. Take very good care of yourself, keep practicing well, and keep doing answer writing also. Okay, all the best. God bless you all.